Have you seen a lot of the body transformation programs around and wondered if that is even achievable? Don't worry, you're not alone. It's a common question. In today's post, I want to reveal 3 key ingredients that you can use to maximize your results from any training program. At the end, I'll also share some powerful tips that you can use to get the best results from all of your training. So make sure you watch to the end to find out what they are. But first, I want to make a really important point. I'm not a believer in big, extreme transformation programs in a really short period of time. I don't think it works because you have to live like a monk, you're eating steak for breakfast. It's just not sustainable, especially if you have a family and you want to live a social life. I believe in a more sustainable, long-term approach to getting the goals you want. We look at the way you can get the best benefit from the smallest change. So what's possible in just 8 weeks of training? It's a good question, and it really does depend. It can vary so much between individual because of so many other factors. Things like if you've trained before, your body type, how much time you commit to it, any experience you've had in weight training or any training really. But the good news, there are 2 key points that will make sure you get results. If you're committed and you have a positive attitude, then that is going to get you big results. I promise you that. So the more you put in, the more you're going to get back. The bottom line, you can achieve excellent results in just 8 weeks of training. So what are the 3 key ingredients you need to maximize any results you get from a training program? Number 1 is consistency. The second is nutrition. And the third is realistic goals and managing your expectation. Let's have a little look at each one in more detail. First up is consistency. It kind of speaks for itself really. You have to make sure you're consistent with your efforts. Going all out 5-6 times a week for 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to see results. But as soon as you stop doing that, those results will just fall away and you'll be back to square one. So we have to have a sustainable approach, the one that's going to allow you to consistently train 3 to 4 times a week. Before you start on any training program, you have to be honest with yourself. Are you able to keep up to those 3 or 4 training sessions a week? If the answer is no, then that's okay, but there's no point wasting your money on a training program. The second key point is nutrition. Cannot be overstated how important nutrition is to getting your goals. I'm not saying you have to live like a monk, but 2-3 times a week, going down, watching a football, having 5 or 6 beers, it isn't going to work. So if that's what you want to do, by all means do it, but don't expect to get the results you want. Diet needs to be good, pretty clean, 80 to 90% of the time. If you can stick with that, you will get results. There's no extreme dieting necessary. You don't need to cut out entire food groups like carbs and that kind of thing. You can just eat a clean, fresh diet and you will see results. Unfortunately, a lot of people's definition of clean and fresh is not quite there. Whole foods, fresh fruit and vegetables, nothing that is processed, nothing that comes from a packet. And you can eat a lot of that kind of food, I promise you. And the best thing about having those types of foods is that it's sustainable. What we need to do is take your existing lifestyle with your friends and family and work and everything that you do and just tweak it and adapt it and improve on it. That way we can work with what you've already got instead of having to start from scratch. That's what I believe is a more sustainable and easier approach, rather than taking this whole massive change that worked for somebody else and trying to fit it in around our lives when the two really aren't compatible. The third point is about having realistic goals. If I tell myself I'm going to start this diet, I'm going to eat clean 100% of the time, I'm never going to drink, I'm going to be eating steak for breakfast every day, in reality that is just not going to happen. Real life is going to restaurants, it's going to work dues, it's going out with friends and family. So you need to have an approach that will allow you to do that. And if you go out for a meal and you have dessert, no problem, it's alright. You know, as long as you're not doing that every single day. We don't want to get into this mindset of it's either success or failure, because that is not how it works. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, you'll have good days and bad days. If we can ride with that, try and limit the bad days and maximise the good foods that are good for us, we will get results. If I have a can of drink when I'm out with my mates or a beer, it's not a failure. It's just a small part of that journey. Just because we do that, it doesn't mean we have to write off the day or the week or the whole diet and throw it on the heap and say, that's it, I've blown it, I'm just gonna go out and have pizza. No, we just take that one thing and say, it's okay, we're moving on. We're gonna carry on with the diet and it won't do that much damage. What are your expectations? Do you expect to look like a cover model in 8 weeks? Reality is, it's probably not gonna happen. Maybe that's not what you wanna hear, but that's the truth. Very few people are gonna be able to achieve that look. And for those people that do achieve that look, that's their life. That's like me wanting to be a professional footballer, but only in my spare time. An achievable level for most people, most guys, will be 12, maybe 10, maybe 12 to sort of 15, 14% body fat. And that is someone who's fairly lean, 12%. I'm probably like 13%. I can see my abs, I've got a six pack. What I'm trying to say is health and getting in shape is about balance. It's not going to the extremes of either end, being fat and overweight, or being really lean, which is not sustainable, it's not healthy, it's not what your body wants. Your body needs some fat. It will try its best, and as you probably know from trying to lose weight before, if you have, it is not easy when you get down to those lower levels to get rid of more fat. Your body is fighting against you. So what are some other powerful tips that will help you succeed in any training program you have? Well, first of all, you need to like the training you're doing. As I said before, find a running club or a cycling club or any kind of club. Do you want to play a sport? Badminton, squash, tennis? Do you like going to the gym? Do you like doing the gym classes? You need to find a trainer that you like working with. Someone that is in the shape you want to be in. You need to make sure you're prepared to change your food. If you don't change your food, your training is almost irrelevant. And two really key points a lot of people don't look at is stress and sleep. They're really important. If you train hard, you have to have sleep. That is where the body recovers, but we are going to be training 4 times a week. If you're doing that and you're only getting 5 or 6 hours sleep a night, your body is going to have a lot of stress and it is not going to recover well, and you will end up being fatigued, overtrained, and your body will not be in good shape. Stress in another way is from work, from family life, from day-to-day life. If we're not doing things that help us relieve that stress, we're not going to find ourselves in the best mental position to achieve the goals we want to. We're not going to be motivated. We're going to get up in the morning feeling lethargic and lacking of energy. It really does depend on you. Maybe it's just sitting down and watching some TV or making some time for yourself. You're also going to need support while you're doing this. You could do it alone, but it's always harder. If you're trying to make changes to your diet and you go home and everybody's eating dessert, so it's about having the environment that is going to support you and your goals. And if you've got kids, we're setting a really good example for them. They're going to see that in order to achieve something, sometimes you have to make sacrifices and changes to get that goal. And that's quite an important lesson really for them, and it's setting a great example that you can't have and do whatever you want all the time. Another key point is that measuring your success is really critical. First of all, setting goals is important because you need to know where you're going, but you've got to also know where you're coming from so that you can track and see if you're moving towards that goal or are you moving way off target. That is what you've got to look at. So we need to track how you're progressing. So any training program you undertake, you need to understand what you're going to track from the beginning. If all of that sounds like a lot to think about and you're not sure where to start, then that is a time when you need to speak to an expert, someone who knows about these things, someone who's done it, someone who can help you and support you through this process. Question for you: would you try and fix the plumbing in your house yourself, or would you get a plumber to do it? An expert. So the question is, do you trust yourself and have the knowledge to start this journey yourself, a DIY job? Would it be easier if you had someone else to help you? Definitely. Even experts, even professional athletes, any professional will seek the help of other people to help them. So it's a case of whether you want to do it slow and maybe go wrong, or you can take a faster approach and get someone who knows what to do to help you. There are usually going to be 2 types of people who have watched this. They're going to be the people who watch it listen to it, understand it logically and say, yeah, that makes sense. And they'll just dismiss it and go away and carry on as usual. That's probably about 70% of people who watch to this point of the video. You know, that's just unfortunately the hard truth, that a lot of people don't take action. Then there'll be the people who want to take action, that 10-20% of people. And they will maybe reach out for help. Maybe they will go and do some research. I want more answers to be able to move forward. The question for you now is, what are you going to do? Are you going to take an action, or are you going to continue with the life that you're living and continue to get the same results you have done up until now? That's a choice for you to make. If you want to ask me any questions, I'm here. Contact me, drop me a message on Facebook, it's Minimal Fit. If you want to drop me a message on my website, just email me. It's rob@minimalfit.co.uk. So I hope that helped in some way, and if it didn't, I've just wasted a lot of your time.